presented by Cure Auto Insurance.
Kate Cunningham clearance in the house.
JB,
giving a little warm welcome.
Sharing a nice exchange. Good series between the Pistons and Raptors all season long. The Pistons get it done here tonight, 127-116. Three-point shooting, huge story in this game. Duncan Robinson.
All right, Duncan, you guys get in at 4 a.m. last night after an overtime game. I'm tired just thinking about it. Where did you guys find the energy here tonight?
Well, a couple of us that didn't play last night.
Here tonight.
Just super inspiring watching their effort.
All right, Duncan, you guys get in
to do was come in tonight and not bring a lot of
at 4
energy.
a.m. last night after an overtime game. I'm tired just thinking about it. Where did you guys find the energy here tonight?
Well, there are a couple of us that didn't play last night.
You talked about you wanting to bring the energy. You didn't play last night, but you came out here with 5 threes and contributed in a big way. When you get going like that, what?
You know, that's a tough win. Second night back-to-back, obviously getting in when we did, so I'm proud of this group for sure.
You talk about you wanting to bring the energy. You didn't play last night, but you came out here with 5 threes and contributed in a big way. When you get going like that, what are you seeing? Taking care of the basketball, especially. What changed there?
You know, my teammates found me in good spots, so a little bit better not beating ourselves. Kind of line my feet up and get one off. Until the end there, we kind of let go of the rope a little bit, which wasn't great, but nonetheless, nice to get a couple to go in. Just the self-inflicted offensive rebounds, turnovers, stuff like that.
Felt like you guys also win here tonight. You guys clinched the Central Division for the time since 2007. I know we're going back quite a ways, but something to celebrate. I know this is your first.
Until the end there, we kind of let go of the rope a little bit, which wasn't great, but nonetheless, good win. But yeah, just the self-inflicted stuff, offensive rebounds, turnovers, stuff like that.
With this win here tonight, you guys clinched the Central Division for the first time since 2007. I know we're going back quite a ways, but something to celebrate. I know this is your first year with the squad, but just knowing what they've been through. Absolutely. Thanks, Doug. Have an accolade now like that. Just what you think that means to your guys. Jalen Duren with a great game here tonight, too. Johnny and Grant as the Pistons beat the Raptors on this second night of a back-to-back here in downtown Detroit.
Bigger and better things.
And with that,
tomorrow,
Natalie, the magic number shrinks to 2
Thanks,
for the Pistons to secure the #1 overall seed. Here's a look at the up-to-date standings. Keep in mind, Cleveland Cavaliers play tonight
beat the Raptors
at the LA
on this
Lakers.
second night of a back-to-back here downtown Detroit.
4.5 game lead, 6 games left to play. And with that, Natalie, the magic number shrinks down to 2 for the Pistons to secure the #1 overall seed. Here is a look at the up-to-date standings. Keep in mind, Cleveland Cavaliers play tonight at the LA Lakers. So a 4.5 game lead, 6 games left to play, and the magic number down to 2. It's a thing of beauty. Detroit, Boston, and New York have all clinched at this point in time. Cleveland expected to do so here
at the beginning of the year.
Within the next
do
day
all the right
or so.
things again along the way. You're going to start.
Incredible. Like, you heard about the winning the Central Division.
Yep.
But that was brought up earlier today, and somebody said
title since 07-08.
You know,
and they've had some decent teams
when they announced it to this crowd. It mattered. It is different.
And it matters from a standpoint of
like in football,
that isn't
you win your
division
division
necessarily at the beginning of the year.
You
do all the right things again along the way. You're going to start
different.
You know, like
you also want to let everybody else know in
but
your
the fact that they haven't won a division title since 07-08,
where you say, look,
and they've had some decent teams
during that stretch.
Okay,
the way I always look at it,
bigger fish to fry down the road, but it's important.
Like in football, you win your division,
I've always said,
guarantee postseason spots, all that.
The wins that they had this season, but it's one of those things.
You also want to let everybody else know in your conference, right? Like Cleveland.
Where you say, first. And right now,
we got
winning the Central Division, that means that the Pistons are
fish
first.
to fry down the road.
But anytime you can win something, whatever it is, I think that's a feather in the cap. The wins that they had this season, but it's one of those things that you grab along the way on your road and on your journey.
So Pistons, very good that they wrap up the Central Division.
Tonight,
I'll tell you the other thing. People on the outside looking at Detroit and say, well, they just don't have enough perimeter shooting.
That means that the Pistons are first. So again, anytime you can win something, whatever it is,
they shot nearly 60% clip in our Buick GMC Pro Vision.
You play.
Look at some three-point shooting. They don't fall in love with it. They don't force three-point shots. So 23 very good that they attempts here tonight. They make 13 of them. That's tonight. I'll tell you the other thing. You know, people on the outside looking at Detroit, they say, well, they just shouldn't have enough perimeter.
And they only made 5 more after the halftime break. They were 8 of 13 at the break.
They shot nearly 60%.
This was the kind of shooting night that the Pistons needed to have because the Toronto Raptors are very good on the inside. They rebound well. They score in the paint. So you needed to get 3 for their their two, if you will. And the Pistons did a great job of finding their three-point shooters. They came out on fire, as I mentioned. After the 8 of 13 in the first half. That was the big difference in this game. That's why this was the kind of shooting rate that the Pistons needed to have, because the Toronto Raptors are very, very good on the inside. They rebound well. They score in the paint. So you needed to get 3 for their 2, if you will. And the Pistons did a great job of finding their three-point shooters. They came out on fire, as I mentioned. 8 of 13 in the first half. That was the big difference in this game. That's why
where they get them.
The Pistons were able to really
remember that
level
stretch
out
just a couple
the
years ago.
interior
Everything was in the
Toronto Raptors. That's the easiest 3, so the experts tell us.
I like looking at this. You can see obviously the distribution. The guys see where they get coming off screens. A lot of the teams obviously remember that stretch just a couple years ago up there on the wings. Everything was in the corner.
That's the easiest 3, so the experts tell us.
And a game, you can see obviously the distribution. The guys that came in here coming off screens and showed some fight for sure. 5 of them tonight, just able to bury them on the wings and then win this one going away.
The three-point shooters really stepped up. The Pistons did.
And a game,
you saw the shot chart there.
Toronto team that came in here and showed some various level and then win this one going away. So incredibly difficult. Some guys make it look easy. Obviously, Cade does. But Dennis Jenkins does such a nice job.
Anytime you find a hot hand from the three-point shooters, you gotta find a way.
And his shooting coach is here a little bit earlier today. Jeremy Hart to the team. SMU.
Coach Bickerstaff
to catch up with him a little bit as well. We will now hear from Dennis Jenkins. Early in this game, obviously the Pistons, they struggled to turn the basketball over. I mean, it was, but that's what Toronto does. Toronto does, I'm not going to say as well as Detroit, but that is a big reason why they've been able to win so well. Obviously, we talk about their interior game, but they're so disruptive in the passing lanes and everything. But the Pistons were able to share the basketball and then make it a little bit crisper passes, I think, as the game wore on. They didn't have as many turnovers in the third quarter, which is when they ceded control or when they assumed control of the game.
There's a lot that you guys still want to work for, but this is the first time that Pistons have won a Central Division title since 2008. What does that mean you guys to be able to take a dream in history like that?
I think, like I said, we knew
that's how you start the basketball game. You got to find out what the defense is set up to do. And the way that you do that is throw the ball inside, let Jalen Duren do what he's going to do. If they're going to double team, as I said, we're going to have three-point shot opportunities. We're going to have basket cuts. All of those things avail themselves if you get Jalen Duren the basketball early. And certainly that's what I don't know if that's what the game plan was from Coach Bickerstaff, but certainly that's what it appeared to happen.
The starting 5.
We talked about that meeting against
12 in the
Toronto in mid-March
quarter. Can you talk about the comfort that you guys are working with right now on offense and everyone kind of being able to get involved?
We heard Dwayne Casey talking before the game. He said, watch Jalen Duren.
I just try to step up and do my job because those guys are great at theirs. So I just gotta
he didn't come close to that tonight. But Jalen Duren took it on a personal mission to own the paint.
Once I do that and get into my spot, to me,
let's send it inside. We'll hear from head coach J.B. Bickerstaff.
I just try to keep talking through it and keep working together, man. So we can just keep.
Night of a back, little sleep. That's just a challenge in itself. But what stood out to you?
Dennis, I know there was kind of a little bit of like a rough stretch for you personally after the All-Star break.
I mean, it was going to be a tough
things like that. You've been playing really well ever since stepping into the starting lineup. What have been kind of like the biggest differences for you, areas of growth since All-Star break and the adjustments you've kind of had to make?
So I can imagine with the guys and
what's
trying
the
to
difference in the comfort level
how you get the sleep to get the rest that you need for tonight. And then playing against a team like Toronto that plays physical.